Yamaha SEQTRAK. What is that? That's this orange and white device I got right here. I got it synced up via Bluetooth to the OP-1 field. I have the audio from the SEQTRAK going into the OP-1 field, the OP-1 field audio going into the SP-404 MK2, and the J6 playing chords inside of the Yamaha SEQTRAK. Today I'm just about to make a beat, just show you how powerful the SEQTRAK is. It's got great sounds in it, man. It's a wonderful thing. You think you can't do a lot with the limited amount of tracks, but I'm about to show you something. So just sit back, watch. I'm going to create and see what I come up with. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I had the Yamaha SEQTRAK, the OP-1 field, the Roland J6, and the SP-404 MK2. How am I going to utilize all these things together? Well, we're going to talk about it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell. If you want to support this channel, just check out my Gumroad store. I have all kinds of producer packs, different things. And now that I got my 404 back, we're going to have all kinds of different sound packs and kits and cool things. So check it out over there. It's all affordable. So right now I have my Roland J6, which is a chord sequencer. I have that routed via MIDI into the Yamaha SEQTRAK. You can see that on my OP-1 field, I have the audio. You see the tape playing. That's because the audio from the SEQTRAK is coming through the OP-1 field, which is coming through the SP-404 MK2. The Yamaha SEQTRAK is synced via Bluetooth MIDI. So what I'm doing right now is I'm utilizing one of the two synthesizers to record the median. It's an 8-bar loop. So you can see it. The way the SEQTRAK works is it has 7 channels essentially, which are drum sounds, and they operate on a step sequencer. And then you have 2 synthesizer tracks in a DX model and a sampler with 7 sample steps. So right now what I'm doing is I'm selecting different parts for the drums. I have it set on a simple 1-bar loop. And then what I will do, one of my tips for the SEQTRAK is to mess with the probability. So instead of having to make a bunch of tracks or extend my sequencer a long time out, what I'll do is just mess around with the probability some, and then that will give me the variation that I need in a 1-bar loop to make that work. So when you see the light blinking, essentially when I turn the first knob, what that does is that changes the sound. Right now, I'm setting the probability. You do that by holding the note and pressing mute, and you can see the dots go down. So we're going to mess with the probability. The lower the dots, the lower the probability. I think when it's 2 dots, it's like at 25%. And so now, we're going to add on a shaker. You turn that bottom knob, it operates the volume. If I hold the top knob, it will change the sound menu. So right now we put a tom there. Now we're going to add a kick. When it's blinking, it's telling you which pattern that you're operating. I like to utilize different patterns, so I go straight into song mode or scene mode and construct it as a song. I'll show you how to do that. Right now, we're building it up. It's the same workflow as always. We're just going to do the deductive method. The SP404 and the OP-1 fill come in handy later. Right now, so you can see I'm turning the sound menu, which is the top knob. One of the dope things about the SEQTRAK is adding it to the mix with something like the SP404 or something like the OP-1 field gives you over 1,000 sounds immediately. Hundreds of drum sounds, all kinds of synthesizer sounds, DX synthesizer. So along with what you got going on in your OP-1 field, it's great for creating the drums. And also it's great to me in finding stock sounds like pianos, organs, horns, things of that nature, which are a little bit hard to find inside of the OP-1 field. I will be making some sound packs of the Yamaha sounds for the SP404 and the OP-1 field, so you can have those sampled and utilized in your OP-1 field and your SP404 later. So right now what I'm doing is I'm operating the sample track. So each one of those pads I'm recording in right now into the sample track, but each one of those buttons is a track. So you have 7 different sample tracks where you could put one shots on and kind of trigger those. My thought process is I put it on an 8-bar loop. I'll stack a bunch of different sounds on the first kind of take. The second take I'll do like an alternative, and then the third take I leave empty. And again, that's for scene mode and song mode. Right now we're just going through, like I said, we're going through the sounds. The SEQTRAK comes with an app, but I spend a lot of time. I haven't really showed it that much on the channel because I like to learn the button combinations. I don't really want to look at the app. I like to use my standalone gear standalone. So I just had to put some hours in to kind of remember where things are. So right now I'm utilizing without an app. And turn the bottom, whichever it says over there, you can kind of control it. It's got 4 pages of controls, but the 4th knob is the volume. So you have a little volume meter, and now we're going to turn it on. So we're just stacking up on that 8-bar loop right there. All these different sounds. One of the things I noticed with the SEQTRAK is the more that you play the keys, the better that the keys get. When I first got it, I didn't really like those little square keys. They were a little clicky. They seemed kind of like they were cheaply made. But in the end, they kind of feel like the Korg Nano keys. Like the more that you use them, they kind of, I don't know, even though they're click-clacky, it seems like they kind of mold to your touch and they get better over time. Like the more you use them, the looser they get or something. We're still stacking these sounds up. You'll see a lot of people say that the SEQTRAK is a great idea generator, but I believe that you can create some full tracks in the SEQTRAK. some of your favorite songs are just drums, and then, two sounds, maybe three other sounds. So just knowing that, once you add in a couple samples, the idea, drum bass sample instrument, when you think of that, you should be able to get full songs done. And so the cool thing about the SEQTRAK is I make a lot of full beats on it. The app does provide is necessary because you can back your tracks up a lot faster, so it can hold, I don't know, maybe 9 projects or something on there. Don't quote me. So here's the song mode. I fill it up and then I back it up. You get what I mean? So here's the scene mode right here. Scene mode, aka song mode. So essentially what it does is take a snapshot of which patterns you have selected on the knobs. So this is why I told you I don't spend a lot of time sometimes doing a bunch of copying of patterns and moving this and moving that, because the way song mode operates, you could create a bunch of variations just with the on and off, and so each one of those scenes, when I select the drum pad, plays as long as the longest pattern. So the longest pattern I have is 8 bars. So each one of these scenes is 8 bars. And so as I copy it out right now, I'm turning off the hi-hats, I'm turning off all the sounds on the bottom, I'm turning off different things. And then we're creating that transition. And so now what I'm going to do is record this into the OP-1 field. I'm going to listen to it. Now when we record it into the OP-1 field, what we have is we can further build on top of it with 3 other tracks. So now we can play 3 other tracks on top or inside of our beat or our arrangement. And then we could still have it separated from the SEQTRAK to the OP-1. We can also take the tracks and slow them down, do some pitch work. We could clone them and build on top of them with different kinds of effects. Or we could just keep it on there and play it like an album. So what I like to do is, set it and record the beat to a pad, record it to the OP-1 field. One of the tricky things when you're utilizing your gear this way is making sure that you get a clean record. I could hear the difference when I pressed play and I brought this in. I could tell that it's distorting. One of the things you want to do is make sure that you make the decision in the moment. You don't sit there the whole entire time. So I sat there and started debating, and now we're going to change the input. And we have some kind of volume issue because the volume's coming in super hot from the SEQTRAK, but going into the SP404 quietly. And even if we turn up the volume on the OP-1 field, when we turn up the volume, it just kind of distorts, cuts out the bass, does some things. So in moments like these, when you're caught up in the vibes, I like to show you guys the good, bad, and the ugly, so while I'm caught up and I'm trying to figure it out, you start to deduce and come up with different ideas. One of the things that I say is before you go through and start changing the audio and doing all this other stuff and trying to put a mix on it, stay with the mix that you had that you were happy with. Drop the volume down to a point that's livable and then still record it in. One thing about making beats, I think that people are too decisive too early. Sometimes you need to print that beat out. Printing mean track it down, turn it to a 2-track, take it away and listen to it. Then that gives you the option to hear what you want to hear, live with the arrangement, make a list in your mind, and go back and fix it. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that I got good, clean audio, and if we need to go back and boost later, we could boost later. If we need to do anything, we could go back in and fix the volumes and do all that. That's part of the purpose of the song mode, because the song mode now keeps our arrangement, and if we have an issue, we can always go back and make some arrangements to that. The OP-1 Field and the SEQTRAK together, they're a dangerous combination. Like I said, I have it hooked up via Bluetooth. So, just the start and stop messages and BPM. And that's really it. I don't need to control any faders or play any keys. Throw in the Roland J6, which has 100 built-in chords inside of it, chord progressions. Now with something like the SEQTRAK with over 1,000 sounds in it, you could really create something pretty crazy, and that's not even getting into the effects and all of the different things to customize and sound design. As far as the OP-1 Field goes, it catches a lot of hate. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's all in your thought process and how you think about your gear. The OP-1 Field provides a tape experience. It provides an alternative way of making beats. It provides a different sound. The synthesizers are very unique, and it creates a sound that's very OP-1-ish. And the reality is a lot of people have an OP-1, but they don't use it in their music, which makes it a pretty good synth that you can utilize and get something unique out of. And then it has a bunch of other capabilities of just being a tape recorder or a sampler or a bunch of different things that it has the ability to do. Then add in the SP404 MK2 and you're in the game. Alright? So now we're about to at the end of this song. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting prepared. We hit stop. Now we turn the monitoring in, off, boom. Now we hit stop, and we have our beat from the SEQTRAK inside of the OP-1. We also have our beat from the SEQTRAK inside of the Yamaha or the SP404 MK2. And now, we can play with effects. Now we can add more to it. Or we could just keep it and start to Yamaha SEQTRAK. So part of the dopeness again of the OP-1 field is how small it is. And once you start to understand how to operate the tape, and you just understand that you're dedicating to the tape, it helps you start to create some really dope things. So now I have that saved in there. Now I could come over, we can affect it. But more importantly, we have it inside of the SP404 MK2. So now we have one beat, three places. We have the full stems in the Yamaha, 2-trap mix down inside the 404, and then a 2-trap mix down inside the OP-1. And I think that's it, man. You can see some of the value. You can turn the beat down. You can turn it up. You can mess with the pitch. So, inshallah, you learned something. You found some value. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Follow me on all social media at 365OTG, 365OTG. Check out the store. And I appreciate you guys, man. Making beats in real time. Learning how to do it the real way. And these beats be slaps. Stay easy. We out.